You're watching Let the Quran Speak. I'm Sophia, your host. How should Muslims respond when confronted with beliefs that are very different from their own? One of the shortest chapters of the Quran gives a very powerful answer, but it's been understood in very different ways. We're going to be looking at that now as part of our Misunderstood Quranic Verses series. This is chapter 109, verses 1 to 6. Dr. Shabir, welcome.
Pleasure to be on.
And I should mention, this is our last misunderstood verse of the series. I'm very excited that this is the end. And after we discuss this verse, we can perhaps have another session where we discuss our reflections on this entire series.
Sure.
But let's talk about this verse for now. And it's not actually one verse. It's a number of them. It's from 1 to 6. So it goes like this. Say, O disbelievers, I do not worship what you worship, nor are you worshippers of what I worship. Nor will I be a worshipper of what you worship, nor will you be worshippers of what I worship. For you is your religion, and for me is my religion. So much repetition here, and for every child who is trying to memorize this chapter, because this is an entire chapter, it is difficult because you can get mixed up, right? Because the verses are very, very similar to each other.
Yes. And moving beyond childhood, almost all Muslims know this.
Yes.
They can read it off from memory. So I don't need to read the whole thing. But what is interesting is that the last verse, which says, Lakum dinukum waliya din, that too obviously has been memorized by Muslims. And they use this very often as a way of, calling for live and let live, right? Lakum dinukum waliya din. It means to you is your religion, or you have your religion and I have mine, right? To your religion and to me mine. The average Muslim takes this at face value. It means the way it sounds, like, it is a call for a truce. Let us live and let live. You have your religion, I have mine. We can tolerate each other. We can live with each other. We don't have to convert each other. We don't have to be overbearing on each other and so on. But the classical commentators on the Quran give it a slightly different emphasis. And they're not entirely wrong, but it's an emphasis that did not need to go the length to which they have taken it. Their emphasis is to say that we should not compromise. And there is an element of that as well when you think about it. If we say, you have your religion, I have mine, it means we're going to keep the integrity of each. You have your religion, you keep it there. At least for me, I'm going to keep mine the way it is. I'm not going to mix up the beliefs and the tenets and so on. Now, the classical commentators bring in here what is called sababun nuzul, or an occasion of revelation. And this is very common in tafsir, in commentator. In the classical commentaries on the Quran. What they do is they say that this verse was revealed on such and such occasion, or with reference to such and such an incident. And knowing the incident, knowing the occasion, helps you to understand the verse in question. Now, of course, that's a very sound and good principle. The only difficulty is that sometimes it's hard to know the precise occasion. Especially because various occasions might be reported about the same verse. Like it might be said, this verse was revealed in reference to such and such a person. And then another report says this verse was revealed in reference to such and such other person. And those who are trying to save them all will say, okay, well, it must have been revealed in reference to both of them. But the strange thing about that would be that a verse of the Quran is revealed in reference to a certain individual, then you can well imagine that the whole community would know about this, right? It's not that one person would know it. Either everybody knows it or nobody knows it at all, right? You know how gossips go around, right? People will be reciting this verse and people will be saying, man, this verse is was revealed in reference to that person. So if it's revealed in reference to two different individuals, then everybody would know it's in reference to two different individuals. And years later, when that story is being told, both individuals will be mentioned. It's not that some people will mention the one individual and some people will mention the other individual, you see. But this plays out again and again. And what this means, in effect, and in some, is that the people did not quite know the specifics about individual verses. This verse was revealed with reference to that specific individual or that particular question that was asked by a certain individual and so on. What we can say in general is that knowing the landscape, knowing like we put all of these reports together, we form an impression of the way life was in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And while we cannot vouch for a specific incident, we can say, okay, this is the sort of things that happened, right? It's like somebody coming and, it's the old cliche about a neighbor borrowing, a bowl of sugar or a cup of sugar, right? So maybe that particular neighbor did not borrow a cup of sugar, but we know that from reports like this, that it's the kind of things that neighbors may do. Maybe not so much anymore, because we can easily, drive to the local store, or we can have the sugar delivered from the local store, right? It's important to know the occasions of revelation, but not the specific ones to be held in high credence. With high level of credence. With this broad picture, let's see what they say. They say that the Quraysh people, the pagans to whom the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, first delivered the message, they wanted to compromise with the Prophet, peace be upon him. They said, okay, we have our gods, and you are calling us to worship the one God. Okay, so let's 1 year worship our gods all together, you with us. And the next year we'll worship your God, okay? And then the Quranic revelation came down to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in the form of this chapter to say, okay, I'm not going to worship that which you worship, and you're not going to worship that which I worship. So let's agree to disagree here. We're not going to compromise. But they're stressing the lack of compromise here, okay? Because there's an offer to compromise, and this is the response to the offer to compromise. The offer does not seem to be one we might expect the Quraysh people to offer, because it's not like they did not believe in Allah. They believed in Allah as the supreme deity, and the Quran makes reference to this elsewhere. That when the fact is that they're being called by the Quran to worship Allah alone and not the other gods that they have devised and they have invented, not the idols. So it's not like we're going to worship our gods 1 year and then worship Allah the next year, because they're always, according to their conception, they're worshiping Allah anyway. So that reference to an occasion of revelation does not seem illegitimate. And we should take the verses at their face value as it is. It is really a call to live and let live. But at the same time, yes, we can say that there is an element of conservatism embedded within this chapter, that it's really telling Muslims, stick to your religion, don't mix it up, but at the same time, be tolerant towards the other people and other faiths.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Muslim Media Hub, the new home of Let the Quran Speak.
Here we spread positivity and good. We help people experience the beauty of Islam and help them appreciate and understand Muslims.
This beautiful building we purchased at cost $2.3 million.
Yeah, we've already raised a third of that money, and with your help, inshallah, we can pay off the rest.
So we're looking for people who can give $1,000 each. If you can be part of the select group, that's amazing.
Otherwise, just please give whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
It's our collective responsibility to share the message of Islam with our fellow human beings. Please help us continue this good work.
It's a sadaqah jariyah, something that will continue to be a benefit to the Muslim community long after Safiya and I are gone.
Please support our work at muslimmediahub.com.
Your support is zakat eligible and tax deductible.
May Allah bless you and your loved ones today and always. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.